Hey guys, I want to talk about John Townsend's character building block of separation. Personally, understanding this building block of growth has been very helpful for me. I used to think of separation as building a wall between me and someone else. But I'm learning that separation is not about building walls. It's about creating space for each of us to be unique. When we understand separation and how it can work in our lives, we discover it gives us a unique sense of self, the freedom to be me. Sometimes we view separation as the opposite of attachment. If attachment is connection with others, then separation is disconnection. But this is really an incorrect view. Separation is about distinction, seeing how I'm different from you. And it is also about boundaries. And boundaries are not meant to divide us, but to create a safe way for us to connect. Separation is often difficult for us because in the past we may have acknowledged our differentness, the way we're unique, and it was not accepted by others. Separation of our differentness should be accepted in a healthy, attached relationship. But in an unattached relationship, it will feel like division. Fear of rejection often keeps us from creating separation. We compensate by agreeing with those we are with. We become like someone else in order to be liked by them. By doing this, we confuse agreement with attachment. Growing in separation involves finding our voice and communicating our likes and our dislikes. In healthy relationship, this should not affect attachment. Separation is identifying the ways I'm different from you. These differences don't make one of us right or wrong or one better or worse. They make us different or unique. When we develop healthy separation, we are really celebrating the way God created each of us unique. Separation is also about boundaries. Healthy separation creates these parameters that make life with other people safe. I like thinking of separation or boundaries in the context of painted lines on a highway, right? On your highway, there are white lines, yellow lines, double lines, dash lines, all kinds of different lines. And each one of them signifies a different boundary or a different type of separation. These are boundaries on the highway. Imagine what it would be like driving on an 8-lane highway through LA with no lines on the road. Do you want to do that? No, thank you. I'd much rather take the train, right? Which has its own set of boundaries to keep it on track. The separation that lines on the highway create actually allows us to trust others and get closer to one another. They help support attachment. We drive 70 miles an hour around tight corners while just being a couple of feet away from a complete stranger doing the exact same thing. Boundaries help us distinguish what's my space and what's your space. It's making room for you to be you and me to be me. Without healthy separation, we are at risk of being engulfed by others, basically losing our sense of self. And if we have a strong personality, we also need healthy separation. It keeps us from engulfing others. When others accept our boundaries, we are building trust that then allows us to feel safer, to be ourselves, and to move closer to another person. Driving down the highway, we stay in our lane, you stay in your lane, and then we can trust one another. We can actually be really close to one another because of the safety our boundaries create. Separation celebrates our uniqueness. We all look different. Our DNA is all so different. God desires each of us to be distinctly different. Our acceptance of one another's uniqueness is just honoring His creativity in us. 1 Corinthians 12 verses 14 through 20 is a beautiful example of this. It says, "Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. Now if the foot should say, 'Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body,' it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them just as He wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. Growth and separation is a great building block in our character. It helps us step into the unique way that God has created you and He's created me, and it helps us move closer to others without losing who we